Hey, how you do? Oh, it's raining. I would have walked out, but it's also a little cold too, But it's fine. Sure. I was thinking of talking about Ultraman and Star Trek because of how similar they are. Right now it's raining. I don't know if I want to talk about that right now. Kare Kano. Whenever I think of a show that, anytime I see rain, I think of rain, I think of the music that that Shiro Sagasu has composed for Kare Kano. It's probably one of my favorite works that he's ever done for the show. And it's very melancholic, fun, comedic, the things you don't see in Evangelion as much, but it's definitely way more vibrant and very intentional a lot of the time with that show. Ooh, let me put this up. All right, there we go. But yeah, I really, really do like that show a lot. But yeah, overall, I do want to say my take on Kare Kano is it is my favorite Ano work. For me, who know me, that I do really like mech shows a lot. And my favorites go from Eureka 7, Dogro, Getorobo, all of its manga, all of its not all of its four mangas, but like definitely the ones that we all know. Getorobo, G, the original G, Go, Shin, and Arc. All five of those mangas within that compilation make up for such a really good, tight, knitted story all together. Well, until the last part of Get Arc. But anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Everyone knows and everyone loves Evangelion. If you want to be contrarian, you could say Gunbuster, or dare I say Nadia. But those are not my favorite. That's because a lot of the mech shows that Ano has done have been really, I really do like Ava a lot. I do like Gunbuster a lot. I haven't seen Nadia, but it's whatever. Gunbuster's really cool, but that's not Ano. But the thing is, those two shows are really, really cool. But they're kind of outclassed, and there's a lot of mechas that I really enjoy much more than those two shows. But that's a different topic altogether. The reason why I picked Kare Kano as my favorite Ano work is because it is based off more of a source material. It's not original, so that's okay, but it is based off the manga. And I really think that the show, the way it's presented, the way it's shown, a lot of the last parts of the show have been really, really good. Well, until the very end, where I thought, damn, they're not going to continue the show. Which I think that show falls in the very unfortunate category of being unfinished. Being very rushed, problems with production, but it has a lot that I think not many animes do. I see way more derivative and more sort of artistic kind of derivative, sort of not derivative in terms of storylines per se, but I'm talking about specifically animations, ideas, or animations, what we see, the visuals in Evangelion. Gunbuster is a little bit more creative with how they do it, but I think Kare Kano does it ironically has a lot more creativity behind it. But I also think it is probably my favorite rom-com of all time. There's nothing I could really say that actually can compete with Kare Kano at all. That show just nails almost everything that I would like in a relationship show. Within a relationship that, the characters get to it. And they don't beat around the bush. They get together. They actually explore like the relationship, this itself. Like, it's kind of crazy when people think like, whenever like rom-coms, it's till the very last episode, or it's just comedy. But like, and it's just like, oh my God, we'll get together, that sort of thing. And like, those are fun. I'm not saying those shows are any lesser than anything. Enjoy what you enjoy, but Kare Kano just nails it right there. I don't know if there's any other show that could really do something that is as impactful or impactful. You can say any other no, you could say the manga. I haven't read it, fake fan, I know, but I think the anime is like still really, really heckin' good. So yeah, this is unscripted, so maybe my mind has changed a lot, kind of, but I just want to spitball a lot of my opinions on Kare Kano compared to something, why I like it so much, why does it resonate with me, and why do I think of it when it rains. I think of it because it rains, because there was one specific scene where, well, actually, it was like I think it was almost a whole episode where Arima and Yukino were stuck in the building all together, cleaning up in the building, and it was raining outside. They got wet too, so it was like a really tender moment where they were about, like, you see, there's like a bunch of comedy outside of the whole thing. So like you see, there's a whole lot of funny stuff and a very cute sort of interaction. But then they actually start to commit to kiss. Like, that's the whole point of that scene. The whole scene, they were all like kissing, and they were all like trying to get to their lips. And so like it felt like a very awkward sort of, but it started to build up and they started to feel much more comfortable. They got closer, they got much more poignant, and they were right there. And honestly, I can't really think of any other rom-com that does something like this so well. It's a rom-com after all. So I'm like really surprised by how Anno was able to fully be able to direct that specific scene alongside the other scenes that he's done whenever Arima or Yukino go in their massive monologues of themselves, as they say. I mainly want to mention that specific scene when it was raining, because when it was raining, they had their really big moment right there. It's honestly one of my favorite scenes of the entire show. I'll think about making an entire video on the show with more a traditional anime review-esque. But I do kind of want to talk about, I wanted to go outside, but it's raining. I could try to bring an umbrella next time, but wouldn't mind doing some hiking here and there. But yeah, can't walk right now. And I'm not about to carry this umbrella and my phone with me. You people. And I also don't bring my glasses because when I'm outside, I don't want it to break. And anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah. I want to say quickly my summarized thoughts of Kare Kano. I really like the show. It's one of my favorite rom-coms. It's my favorite Anno work because it is the one I feel like is more where I feel like there's I wouldn't say a lot of creativity, but I feel like there's a lot of things that rom-coms don't really do that push that envelope of I don't want to, it's not a deconstruction, it's not, but like it just finally does something that, you know, what it does, go into a character study of two characters, and they even go with like other characters and like they show other sort of side characters, and they have a big focus, like Tsukasa, correct me in the comments, but like she goes through her own whole arc. Like aside from being like a love rival towards Arima, she also has a lot of family, like stepbrother, like step parents meeting together and, you know, having to, you know what, starting to get along with each other, right? Like there's a whole lot of tension between the two, and but you know, they sorted it out at a dinner table, and the stepbrother and you know, her Tsubasa herself are able to get along. So I think it's like really funny that like the show that like is made for two perfect people, has very deep, serious issues behind them. Even though Yukino was treated like, you know, really well by her parents, has a really cool family and all, but out there she's a facade, and she tries to be perfect right in front of everyone else. So, other thoughts, and Arima is a very different situation where he was abandoned by his parents, but he has like an uncle and aunt-in-law. No, not sure who is related, but that like couple brought him in, and it really changed his life. And you know, he has really a good parent figures, but he also is deeply entrenched in like the whole fact of his family, and you know, just how like, you know, into a point where he like really took advantage of Yukino's weakness. And I really like how that she just drops her mask after they start going into the relationship. Like you see like the chase scene and whatnot. But yeah, I really do like this show a lot. I guess it's a spoilers for Kare Kano, but honestly, like if you watch the show and like, you know, you understand why it took so long for them to start building. You know, it didn't take them like too long to where, you know, it didn't take them too long to get into a relationship, and it didn't take too long for them to kiss. But it was finally like the time where I think it like perfectly paced itself. It wasn't no rush, but it was also, you know, it sort of reflects like an ideal relationship build. You start to know someone, even though they're a really good first impression. They get fight out some sort of things sometimes, like, you know, get a good first impression because they're both perfect after all. Then they get into some argument, like, although this is almost an ideal relationship. You don't start off like fake and then go as you go. But ideal good first impressions, drop the facades, start thinking about it seriously. You know, is going with them worth it or not? Find out it's worth it, and then start, you know, doing some things physically that, you know, only connect with each other. And it kind of goes down, and it goes up from there, it seems. I know the show doesn't end very well. I know the last couple episodes were really rocky, and arguably, like, I do like some of those episodes because it focuses on the side characters, but it doesn't really complete the story. There's some good and bad in it too. But like, I felt like the first 19 episodes is too darn good to pass up and say, I need to find something else. Now, I could technically find something else, but personally, there's just, I could hardly find anything that like tops any kind of slice of life, any kind of romantic comedy, or does a relationship justice like Arima and Yukino. Yeah, on this rainy day, I'd say I'm glad I was able to get that out of my chest. And that's how I'm gonna be doing my videos. So, I'll see you next time.